And we're live. Boom shakala. All right, everyone, welcome to this broadcast. My name is Chris Young. I am the Internet Party President. And we, for the next little bit, are going to be sharing with you our Campaign 2017 presentation, which is our plan to update NZ. Now, what I'd like to do is just give you a bit of an intro as to what's been happening with the party leading up to this point. So look, since the 2014 New Zealand general election, the party has gone through a bit of a quiet period as it was being rebuilt. And while there have been various changes happening behind the scenes, I tell you what, the belief in the Internet Party that it has a vital role to play in challenging the political status quo for a better New Zealand has never disappeared. I tell you what though, for the most part, little has changed in New Zealand from 2014 to now in 2017, except for the ending of the TPPA. Many of the same issues exist that inhibit New Zealand from becoming a truly open, free, fair, connected, and innovative country. Threats to privacy and internet freedom still exist. Inequality, child poverty persists, and now we also have a housing crisis and homelessness. Our members, they wanted the Internet Party to return to its original vision after 2014, and so it has. The party, a party that was born digital on a foundation of collaboration that harnesses the greater wisdom of its members, a party not driven by ideology, but by data and evidence, a party that advocates for innovative solutions to our country's pressing issues. Our new reanimated party this year has been diligently strategizing and rebuilding readiness for the upcoming election, thanks to the addition of some very talented people that we have working on the campaign. I'd also like to share that the executive committee has also been strengthened with additional members who bring valuable insights and experience to the party. So New Zealand and the world needs a fresh political voice that will advocate for innovative answers to tough problems. Not kick the can down the road, but actually come up with solutions. So welcome to the Internet Party. This is going to be awesome. I'm now going to pass you over to our party leader, Suzie Dawson.
Hey guys, how's everyone going? Can I just ask everyone to mute their mics, please, that isn't talking? And Joe, could you please pass me host if you haven't already? Okay, welcome to our presentation. We are going to try and do something that I don't think any political party has done before. This has come about because on February 17th of this year, WikiLeaks released a document, and that document was a dispatch order from the CIA. And that document dispatched New Zealand spies, as well as spies from Australia, Canada, the United States and the UK, and Australia, to spy on the French presidential election. And what they were specifically looking for was for the spies to infiltrate all of the political parties in the French presidential election campaign, and they wanted the strategic plans. So these are the internal documents that map out the strategy and the tactical planning for each of the parties. So we were thinking about it, and we've worked out that the spies spend all these millions and billions of dollars trying to get this information because it's information that is not in the public realm, which makes it valuable to them. So we decided that we would simply open source our strategic and tactical plans. We would make it publicly available, and give everybody the same access to it that the spies spend so much money trying to get. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to screen share the documents. So I would just like to explain to you that the documents are in the same original form as when they were created in February of this year. I was looking at them and thinking, we should update these so that we can show you exactly where our progress is at now. But I didn't want somehow the original documents to escape and it look as if we had doctored or changed them. So I'm simply going to show you them exactly as they were authored. And I'm just going to talk you through the update. So there has been progress that is not reflected in the documents. And we'll go through that piece by piece. So bear with me while I work out how to show you the first document. I'll do the screen shares, Joe. It's all good. Okie dokie. So this is the first document. It's a strategy document. This was prepared for our executive committee in February of this year. It contains, I'll just try and size this down so it can all fit on the screen properly. It contains a context to our campaign strategy, a strategic overview, which has all of the elements of the strategy for our campaign. It has a breakdown, which explains what each of those elements are. It has some notes about campaign management and what we think are the key, or what we thought at that time were the key principles for success. Some notes about funding. And then after this, we'll go through the tactical planning document. So in the context, I had just newly been nominated and then appointed the leader of the party. So we were trying to work out how could we handle the fact that I'm in Russia? Is it viable really to have a leader who's in Russia? And so we did some research about how it is that we would be able to get me to be able to appear on stage in New Zealand. And we discovered that there was actually a French political candidate in the French election who had appeared by hologram at multiple political rallies. So we decided that we could follow Edward Snowden's footsteps in doing live video broadcasts, but that we could also potentially put me on stage in holograms. So here's the context. In 2014, Internet Party delivered cutting-edge innovations like sign-ups by mobile apps, crowdsourced candidates, and having Edward and Julian Assange appear at the moment of truth on a big screen. It's now 2017 and a French political candidate is appearing as a hologram at political rallies. There is a long history of political leaders who have had to operate, campaign, and live in exile throughout history. Julian Assange himself created the WikiLeaks party while he was exiled in the Ecuadorian embassy. Being persecuted for political ideas has numerous precedents. Snowden has already broken the ground. His method of communicating his messages to the public has become widely accepted. Prior to 2014, the idea that thousands of people would queue to see a whistleblower video conferencing live from Moscow was unheard of. And at first glance, the idea of us having a party leader in exile in Russia seemed similarly strange, but arguably little more so than having had a party leader who was exiled in Russia at all. But anything that is strange is also intriguing and generates interest and mystique. So Internet Party can gain priceless interest internationally and free promotion by capitalizing on that situation. The millennial generation grew up with Star Wars and Princess Leia. In 2017, I don't necessarily have to be in New Zealand to be on a stage. We could project me in hologram like Carrie Fisher, and it would be the living proof of the crimes of our government and an emissary for this generation of Kiwis. So you want to bring me home? The answer is simple. Vote Internet Party into Parliament. So that was the initial idea. And it may well be that as we start scheduling events throughout this campaign that I do appear in hologram. But that was just one way that we came up with that I would be able to be accessible to the New Zealand audience. Another way is actually what we're doing right now, which is live streaming the campaign. So this is what the spies would probably call the money document. This is the PDF version, so it has messed up like the labeling. So if you're wondering why the labeling is on broken lines, that's why. The original document was actually done on a Mac, so it has not converted to PDF very nicely. But this document spans all the different components that are involved in our campaign, and it works like a clock. So you start at the 12 o'clock, which is the vision. So the vision is that our party is all about innovation, that we are the new political paradigm. We're not strictly left and we're not strictly right. That we need 5% to get into Parliament, but that doesn't necessarily have to be this year. That will be our continuing aim every single campaign until we eventually achieve it. And that we are a democratic party and based on democratic principles. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, so then moving to like the 1 or 2 o'clock position, these are all of the different types of people that are involved in our campaign and the roles. So obviously we have members, and from our membership, we select candidates. So we're going to do that the same way that we did in 2014, which is that we'll put a call out for candidate submissions, applications. People will put their hand up, we'll vet them, we'll put forward a list, and we'll let the membership vote on who should be the candidates for our campaign. We also decided that this time around, we're going to run a loose co-op structure, which means that instead of having a scaling pay where the leader gets the most money and then, you know, the number 2 candidate gets the next most money and on, we've actually instituted a flat pay structure across our entire campaign and our entire candidates. So everybody is getting paid exactly the same amount for their participation in the campaign, no matter what their position is, myself included. Then we have the executive committee. The executive committee is like a board of directors for the party. It provides oversight to our campaign committee and leadership in the form of Chris Young, our awesome party president. Then we have members of the public, and we worked out pretty quickly that there are a lot of people that support this party who are not necessarily able to become a member for whatever reason, maybe because of their job or because of their family or because of other political affiliations they have. But we wanted to find ways to include them. So you'll see in our plans that there's various initiatives to help members of the public, and even this expands to the worldwide as well, because international people can't technically become members of our party, but they can definitely show solidarity, help out, volunteer in our campaign, supply research, and work with us. So then we get to our product. So our product is basically the Internet Party brand and our policies. So we wanted to have continuity in our brand, which is why you see we didn't create a new logo. We're still using the same colors. We really liked the marketing collateral from 2014, so we've mostly kept it in place. We've added like a new secondary color, which is the gold that you see around the place. But mostly it's the same brand as 2014. And that's for longevity as well. So we want to keep that going through multiple elections. Then we have a policy. So we had to really assess like what are the differences in our policies. You all good, Bill? What are the differences? Awesome, bro. What are the differences in our policies like between 2014 and 2017, and where are the alignments? So we've noticed this trend where some of the policies that we were actually even mocked for having in 2014, even though we didn't get elected, those policies have been picked up by other parties and even by the government. Like you see, the government now is instituting medical marijuana in New Zealand, and yet that was a policy that the media raked us over the coals for in 2014. So we've learned that even if we don't get into Parliament, even if we aren't elected, simply pitching our policies can eventually make change in our country. Then the next step is the media. So in 2014, obviously the media kicked the proverbial out of Internet Party on a regular basis. And because of that, Internet Party was quite media shy and on a lot of occasions would only engage with alternative media, which is understandable. But we decided that this time we're going to flip that around 100% and we're going to 100% engage. So even if Mike Hosking or Paul Henry, God bless them, want us on their show and want to mock us start to finish, we will still show up and we will still tell the truth and we will still participate. We'll do that by using brutal honesty about the situation that the world is in and about our party, which you would have heard a good dose of that actually on Radio New Zealand on the weekend. There was a lot of honesty, brutal honesty in my last interview with them. And we follow the path of least resistance, which means we're not going to go banging down the door of people who don't want to hear from us at all. We'll engage with the people that want to engage with us, but we're open-minded and we'll work with anyone. So then obviously we can't just rely on the media. We have to have our own channels. So we decided that we would do broadcast again. In 2014, we had Not the 6 o'clock news. So there is a new series that will be coming out of videos from us, and you'll see that being pushed through all of our channels and our social networks. And then the mainstream media, now back in February when this was put together, we actually anticipated that the national media would black us out. That's what we thought would happen. And that we would have to push through international media, the national media. But amazingly, and I'm really impressed to see it, there's been pretty good, relatively good coverage across the New Zealand mainstream media already. So this is one part of our plan that we might not have to stick to. Obviously, we still want international coverage and we'll engage internationally, but the national media have actually been doing their part and covering our campaign so far. So then we get to the 6 o'clock on the clock here, and we're at the tech area. So the tech, we have internal tech solutions and then we have external tech solutions. So our team, we store all of our files. As the spies know, GCSB can tell you for free that well, not for free, for millions of dollars, that we use Spider Oak Semaphore to store all of our files so that everything is accessible to everyone at all times and we don't just have to constantly mail things around. We all use end-to-end encrypted emails through Proton Mail. We're using Riot IM for instant messenger chat, though we're also now using Discord for voice, which has allowed us to create public channels so that people from all around the world can engage with us on a daily basis. And we do all of our team tasking in an agile software development manager program, which is called Sandglaze. And that allows us to really transparently see what has to be done and who's going to do it and to track it. So then on the public side, we've just obviously rolled out our website recently. And the next step for us is to create a next generation mobile app for the campaign based on our website design. We are developing our policy in Lumio, just like we did in 2014. And we have a new initiative, which I'll let Joe, our technical director, talk about a bit more later on, and that's to create a tech council for New Zealand with a revolving honorary CTO to come up with new initiatives for our country. So moving along, we have our rollout phase, which is what you've seen us doing in the last couple of weeks and what we'll be doing in the next couple of weeks and going forward. And that was to launch the campaign, to push campaign events. So we want to hold campaign events predominantly in rural, urban areas, because we covered off rural with the road trip in 2014, and we unfortunately don't have the resources to go all around the country tiki-touring again this time around. So we are just going to stick to the main centres and hold public events, and obviously participate in public events and debates, etc. as well. But predominantly our campaign is going to be an online campaign, and we're looking to build an online movement. And then we will be rolling out our policy. We have the policy roundtable, which is our policy committee in Lumio. And then we have the policy incubator, which is where the membership actually get to submit edits and sign off on any policy before we release it to the public. So we have this whole policy pipeline. And then once it's approved by the membership, you'll see us making short promo videos to explain the policies, publishing the full documents, and then putting out press releases and launching them. In terms of delivery, we have a basic timetable for the campaign and then reporting functions to exec. Then we have change management. This is basically internal stuff about how we support our candidates and how we'll react to things on a day-to-day basis going forward, especially in like the last month. Between RIT Day, which is August 20th, and 23rd September. And that's when things are going to get real crazy, and we're going to have to be super responsive and able to respond to things really, really fast. So we've taken some of the co-op concentric circle theories that some of the Lumio co-founders actually introduced to me. And that's about peer-to-peer support amongst our candidates, everybody looking after someone else. It's about running a non-hierarchical structure, as you'll see when we get through into our HR structure. There is no boss. I'm not the boss of this campaign. We have a bunch of bosses, and they're all awesome. And you'll hear a lot more from them soon. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the strategy document. Now, there's a lot of double up between these next few screens and then the tactical document that I'll show you after that. So when I skip through screens on the second document, it's because we've already covered them off in this first one. Actually, I'll go the other way around, because these next screens actually explain, they flesh out the pieces of the strategy overview that I just explained to you. Cool, so we have monthly executive committee meetings, which have now been brought down to weekly because we're into the campaign itself. But initially from February through June, we're just monthly meetings. We have weekly campaign committee meetings and policy committee meetings. And then we have daily task scheduling and peer-to-peer review. Right, now this was the original principles for success. So this is back in February what we thought was going to work best for us. And the first thing is that it is impossible to separate Kim.com from the Internet Party. He founded it, it's his baby. And the effort in 2014 to try to distance him from the party obviously didn't work, and it never can work. And nor should it work, in my opinion, because a lot of what was said, the vast majority of what was said about Kim in 2014 was really unfair. And I've written extensively about that online. If you go and look at contraspin.co.nz and type kim.com in, you'll be able to see a lot of my articles, you know, meticulously sourced articles explaining what really went on in 2014, because it's vastly different from the picture that was shown in the media. Now, Kim, for legal reasons, had to step down from the executive committee because he has other things going on this year and he didn't want to have a conflict of interest. So we didn't just distance ourselves from Kim in our first press release because we were trying to keep him at arm's length. This actually shows you the opposite was true. We wanted to not distance him. We wanted to stand up and own the fact that this is his party and how amazing it is that he built this, considering everything he was being put through and everything he was going through at that time in 2014. So it was actually him who stepped down based on legal advice because of other plans and other things happening. But we still support him. We are still in solidarity with him. And he's obviously in solidarity with us. He's been awesome about promoting us and whatnot, but he is not involved in the campaign and has not been since February. So we wanted to build on the 2014 progress, which is just what I was talking about, focusing on the urban areas, the millennials, and above and beyond. Millennials and young people, especially today, work and live on the internet and love entertainment, which is why you'll see there's really prominent entertainers associated with our campaign. It's a really natural partnership with us. We also decided that we wanted to align with the pirate parties because our policies are so similar to the pirates and our philosophy is so similar to the pirates. And there are some very prominent pirates who have been in support of us for a long time and many years. So we decided that we would apply for like an honorary member status with the Pirate Parties International, which we've taken steps to do and should be going through in the next month. So basically it comes back down to that fierce like anti-war, anti-empire stance, but wanting to modernize the country economically and environmentally, and to run a cutting edge campaign, which you can see we're doing right now. The Internet Party has always been about doing things first and leading the way and coming up with innovations that no one else has thought of and no one else has done. So that's exactly where we're at. We're doing that right now, and we'll keep doing that all the way, even beyond. I mean, I want to say all the way to September 23rd, but the reality is we are already planning for 2020. We are already planning for 2023. What not many people realize is that when I was nominated for leader, one of the first things that I was told is, we don't just want you for this election, we want to build a party for the long term. This has to be about longevity. It can't just be about the next 6 months. So that's where we're at. We are prepared to be patient and earn your guys' trust and build something awesome long term. Funding. So in 2014, this is in 2014, Lila Hare took a lot of heat about money. I distinctly recall we had News Talk ZB report that she got $3 million from Kim.com for the campaign. Now, of course, she did not, because that was the money that was invested in the entire campaign as a whole. But I believe the exact quote was that Kim was Lila's sugar daddy. We wanted to make it really clear that we're not in it for the money. That's why we've adopted the co-op structure. That's why we're prepared to be paid the same thing. So the idea was that this time around, we don't want to spend $3 million, and we don't think we need to spend $3 million. In fact, we're looking at spending about 20% of that on this campaign. And how we do it is by not having a massive office on Queen Street, and not having a whole ton of staff members, and not having, you know, all of the 10 million bells and whistles at all times, but actually to run an online office staffed by people online, volunteers, as well as permanent campaign staff, and to have them work 24/7, but with no set hours or anything. Okay, and then the last one's just contract stuff. So now I will take you through the tactical planning document, which breaks down exactly what is happening with each individual, we call them like directorships of the campaign. So let me find it for you guys. Okay, so here we go again, February 2017. Nope, I am in the wrong doc, sorry. Bear with me. Aha, here we go. So our tactical plan has the phases of the project, the phases of the campaign, reiterates the strategic overview, has the dependencies for success, has our campaign HR structure, and then more details about each area of that. So the project phases is just our timelines. Tactical breakdown is just putting things in more detail than they were in the strategy document. The pathways is the chronological order for the steps that had to be taken to achieve each thing that we're doing. And then the project calendar. So this was our initial provisional dates. So we wanted to start our build by March 9th. We wanted to have our launch somewhere around May 29th. And we wanted to begin like the real public push on June 23rd. And then August 18th, just before RIT Day, is going to be our big acceleration where we're really going hard, you know. So we weren't too far off that. We realized that we had to have an AGM. And I think the AGM was somewhere around like 6th of June or something like that. So we decided we would launch just after the AGM, because the AGM is where we have the membership approve our party president, our executive committee, and the various different positions and responsibilities, and sign off on all of our compliance documents and stuff like that. So we wanted to launch the campaign once that was all like done and dusted and sorted, and we're on solid footing. So that's what we did. Okay, and that's the strategic overview that you guys saw already. So dependencies were basically that we would, and bear in mind again, this is a February document. So we would need to have quick fulfillment of information requests so that people have what they need in order to be able to do their job. transparent and timely completion of tasks to make sure stuff actually gets done and done well and done on time, and reassignment of tasks if they couldn't be completed for whatever reason. Then we wanted, obviously, accesses needed to be available to people who needed them. Communications needed to go to the areas of responsibility that are about to be discussed. And our team, we needed to quickly bring on freaking awesome people who are qualified and experienced at doing what we need them to do, which is one thing that is a massive tick for us, because everyone that we've brought onto the campaign has been amazing in terms of how much time and effort they've put in and how qualified they are and how professional they are.
Yay.
It's our people is the best part of our campaign for sure. And right, in respect for the HR structure and responsibilities, which we're about to go through. Now, back in February, we thought that funding would come from KDC, kim.com, like it had in 2014. And that may or may not be the case. I mean, his finances, as is in the public realm, are all court ordered, and he doesn't have money on hand to do that. But whether he arranged it by other means, we don't know. But we worked out pretty quickly that by running an amazing open source campaign and building a movement through social and through online, and by keeping our costs really far down by having our online office and all the things that I've already explained, that there is a damn good chance that we can just crowdsource this and that we can crowdfund it, and especially with the international support that we have. So at this time, we have not accepted any money from Kim. And we are going to begin a campaign for our members and supporters to donate to us and to see if we can do this on our own 2 feet, which would be our preference, definitely. So here's our HR structure. So in 2014, there was just one campaign manager that was kind of in charge of everything. And there's like this giant behemoth organization under them. We decided that we didn't want to do it that way this time around. So we have broken up the different areas of the campaign into these directorships, these divisions they're called. And we have hired full-time campaign managers for each of those divisions. So rather than just having one dude, we've now got 4 of us, which is me, Joe, Sarah, and Bill. So leading our tech team, we have our technical director, Joe, who's doing an amazing, amazing job, incredible job, working his butt off and doing great things. He is responsible for, obviously, our website and mobile app development. He is responsible for all of our developers. We've got designers, amazing web designers working for us, and other really cool people and great volunteers. He will also be responsible for event support. We have live streamers and et cetera, coming on board to do our live events. He's obviously also responsible for Lumio admins and the mods, etc. So then we've got Sarah. Sarah is our amazing communications director. She's also serving as party secretary for us. She is in charge of liaising with media and setting up our interviews. All the interviews I've done have been set up through her. She's really great at that. She does our press releases. She does a whole bunch of stuff. I'll let her talk more about what she does a bit later on. Everyone's going to get to have their kōrero to you. And eventually she'll have a full team under her of volunteers as well. We're currently in the process of vetting volunteers and bringing them onto the campaign one by one. And then we have our project coordinator, our team coordinator, which is Bill Urali. Am I saying it right, Bill? I always want to roll my R. Urali.
It's Bill Urali.
Urali. Cool. Bill is freaking amazing as well. And he is in charge of looking after all our volunteers. He meets up with people who want to volunteer for the campaign. He susses out what their skills are and he brings them on board and pushes them to Sarah if they're comms or media or advertising, marketing related, to Joe if they're tech related, or keeps them for the campaign team if they just want to get out and do stuff there on the grounds. Okay, so the breakdowns, just take through they go through the steps, the individual steps for each area. So the people area is Bill's area. So I haven't updated these. We're actually a lot further along than it appears, but I decided not to modify these documents before we did this. So basically green was the things that we'd already done, yellow was what we were doing, and red is what we had not yet done. So obviously we've already like gone public, and a lot of the stuff would actually be green if we updated it at the current date. So basically, yeah, the people is the exec candidates, members, and the public. And the product is our brand, and there's probably not much use in me going through all of this. Like we can publish this later on or whatever, but basically it's what I've already talked you through, which is stuff related to brand and product. And the strategic pathway for brand and policy, which is just the development of it. So for example, with policy, we went back and analyzed all of our 2014 policies. We decided what we wanted to keep and what was no longer relevant, refined the existing policies, engaged with our membership to see, do people still want this? Is this still relevant? We had our membership select the top 5 portfolios that they wanted us to develop first. And then it started refreshing those 2014 policies. Once we have our candidates, those policies will be assigned to the candidates based on the candidate's personal experience and area of interest, and then updated on our website. Media I've pretty much gone through, and I don't want to steal all Sarah's thunder on that because she'll be the one to talk us through this. But again, this is basically the step-by-step for what needed to happen on the media front to be ready. Same thing with tech. We've obviously already implemented nearly all, well, definitely all the team solutions. I think the mobile app and the tech council are the only ones outstanding on the tech side, and I'll let Joe talk about that. And then rollout. So pretty much we've almost rolled out everything except for those last few initiatives. And of course, there's constantly new stuff in the works. So one thing that you won't see in this document is things like the international parties. I'm going to stop sharing now. So we had, thanks to Kim sending a random tweet that sent 100 people my way, literally, in one day, about starting up international internet parties. We have people from 12, I think we now have 14 countries wanting to start internet parties. So we actually halted everything for about 2 days and set them all up their own Lumio pages and their own Discord channels. And now people all around the world are using our constitution and our brand as a model and starting to build their own internet parties, which is extremely exciting, obviously. So there's initiatives like this, things that we've done that you don't see in these documents because these documents are now 4 months old, a little more than 4 months old. So what I would like to do is stop talking and hand you over to the rest of our team so that you guys can get to know them. Because right now I've been fronting the campaign for the last week or two, and it's probably looked like, oh my God, it's just this chick in Russia. But actually there are a lot of other people who are working on this every day. I would just say too, the people that you see here are the directors of the campaign, but they're not the full campaign team. So we have other volunteers and people working really hard, and you will get to see them and meet them and interact with them in our future streams. So the idea of this is just to get you guys up to speed with what we've been doing for the last 4 months, how we got to where we are now, and what our next steps are going forward, which these guys are going to talk to you a bit about. But we are going to continue to live stream our campaign. Except instead of sitting here and watching us present boring documents to you, you will get to see us actually organizing live. You will see people jumping in and out of the stream with information, with requests, with tasks that need to be done, with opportunities, saying we've heard from this person, can you talk to that person, can you write this thing for that person? You get to see us interact with each other, and you get a better idea of the full breadth of our team. And that team will continue to grow every single day. Especially if you guys are interested in jumping on board, you just email volunteers@internet.org.nz. No matter where in the world you are, you can help. You can fill one of those volunteer spots on that HR structure that I just showed you. And you can be a part of this campaign in updating New Zealand. Okay, that's it from me. I'm going to go back to being a little profile picture for a minute, and I'm going to pass over to Joe. And Joe's our technical director, and he can tell you all about our tech stuff, everything that has been going on with him for the last few months. Kia ora.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Susie. That's fantastic. And I'm really excited to be leading the tech for the party. I was brought on as, well, I suppose 2014, come the election, I was volunteering wherever it helps. I'm a kind of person that likes to get involved with stuff. I like to solve problems, be they technical or not. And so I got involved behind the scenes, making the party happen in Wellington. That was a great night. I got involved on the streets campaigning with our Wellington candidates. And I generally helped out wherever the community needed it. And it was good fun. I really enjoyed it. On election night, I sat down with a bunch of internet mana folk, and we had a really great night. And I wanted more of that. As Chris talked to, the party sort of vanished to all intents and purposes. And so I was left wanting a bit more of this tech, a bit more of this internet party. And so that's when I got shoulder tapped, I got a call and asked, since I'm so keen with volunteering and the like, could I not help out with this party overall? So here I am. I initially volunteered helping out with the website and making things happen, and to a point where essentially I became the technical director. I rate my skills. I'm certainly in it for what we can do to make this a better place. What I can do is just talk to you a bit more about our tech strategy. So if I can share this, do I have host, please? Maybe not. Right, I think I can share this. So as Susie talked to, our tech is composed of streams that both go to the public and to and for our team. Particularly the stuff that I worked on first was the team stuff. So getting things like Semaphore up and running. Semaphore is our end-to-end encrypted media management, gathering together the assets and the things that make the party hang together. And one of our key communications methods is Proton Mail, so end-to-end encrypted mail. We're also on Riot. If need be, look for the room called IPNZ. Sandglass as well. I'm totally into organizing my tech, and for me, having a agile project management methodology was awesome. So between this, we have our team files, email, chat, and tasks, all organized in an end-to-end encrypted way. So as we build this team and as we're getting towards building this, we're starting to branch out into the stuff that reaches you, the public, and the members. So next up on our agenda is the mobile app. You will have seen our new website. So our website has certainly, if I share this one, our website has certainly been built by a team of awesome people. I came along and I pined for the old website. You may remember our sort of oddly coloured thing that we've been putting up with for the last few years, but we've added the gold, we've added the purple back, and my favourite part of all, IPv2, our robot mascot. IPv2 was dreamt up one evening when I needed a Twitter profile, and he's certainly helped out a lot along the way. So that's the website. As our website grows more, we'll get automation and social integration. So we'll start to know what you want from the party and give it to you. You will have also heard talk of Lumio. Lumio is a Wellington-based startup which has taken on the world, and you can see here our Lumio that we currently make available. what we use this for is incubating our ideas, sharing our ideas and making discussions and making decisions. We also actually use this internally for the organisation of the executive of the Internet Party. So any major decisions we need to make will get put into Lumio, and we'll vote on them. What we're slowly doing is, and with the help of my Lumio mod team, is building our policy portfolios. So one of the things that Lumio has added recently is tagging, and so you'll see these colourful tags on all the posts, and this helps you drill down quickly and easily into a topic of your interest. So me being technologically minded, I can just jump straight into tech, and you can see why Bill Gates and others thinks that the robots that steal your job should pay taxes. Wade into that, have a discussion, decide on what our policy could be. So back over here, we are developing our policy in there, and we can on the YouTube right now. You've got Damon. Damon is the head of our policy committee, and they're building the policies, making them happen. So one thing we briefly talked about, and that's on my tech stack as well, is the consultation. So as Suzie mentioned, we feel, and I've been in the position in the past of not being able to contribute politically to things. I came to politics for tech. I see politics as helping me get the tech happening. So I think the way we can give this back is with this tech council. And so the tech council will help us to engage people that aren't necessarily politically aligned. Some people do tech just because it's tech. We fix problems, we change the world just through technology. We don't need politics to solve it. And I think the tech council will certainly help bring that vision to pass. As Suzie also mentioned, this is a revolving presidency or a revolving leadership. Much in the same way as we run the Internet Party, we don't let the power consolidate in one spot. We let it move on and pass on. So equal responsibility, equal pay, as you will have seen. So we've got a long way to go, but it will be awesome. And so I think that's probably enough talking from me. And so I'm going to hand over to, is it Sarah? And we'll see, we'll go from there. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, am I up?
I believe you might be.
All right, I'll just start talking. I'm Sarah Illingworth, and I'm the Communications Director for the Internet Party. It's been a really interesting and great ride so far. It's my first time working on a political campaign. My background's in media and research, academic research, etc. I think my computer's just joining the noise. But it's been really cool to be working with a group of people that I have found to be super onto it and smart and motivated. And Suzie has obviously got a strong background in media and communications as well. So that's made my job a lot easier, and I've had a lot of direction and help from her. But up until a couple of weeks ago, our job was primarily, we were mostly focusing on getting the website rolling. Between Joe, Suzie, and our designer Ron, we've managed to pull together a website. We've built it in-house, and it happened in a really short time frame, which was really impressive to me, and I think it looks really good. And as well as that, we've just been working on getting all our social media accounts active again, looking good. And then, of course, once we were able to announce or acknowledge that Suzie, publicly acknowledged that Suzie was the leader of the party, I've been dealing with media and sending out press releases and setting up interviews and things like that. And we've had some good coverage from New Zealand media so far. We started with Sam Hurley, a political reporter, police reporter actually, at the New Zealand Herald, wrote the feature that announced Suzie's leadership. Sam Smith did a great interview with Suzie on BFM's Tuesday Wire. And then last weekend, Wallace Chapman at RNZ did another great interview. And then we've had some international coverage as well, and that's going to be ramping up over the next couple of weeks too, I think. Yeah, I'm not sure what else to say really. I feel like between everyone else, we've covered things, but it would be really great to have support from anyone who wanted to volunteer with the media team. And if you do want to volunteer, then email volunteers@internet.org.nz, and I think that goes to Bill, and then he'll send you in my direction. Does anyone think I should say anything else? Joe had a lot more. Joe had some visuals. I don't have any visuals.
You got a whole website full of visuals, dude. You're all good.
Yeah, I feel like people can just go have a to-do around, check it out.
Sweet. Bill, let's hear it, bro.
Hey, what up, fams? How are you? My name is Bill O'Reilly. I am one of the guys that are looking after the volunteers and also the candidates. I was on the last campaign, and some of you guys might know me as King Kapisi, and that is my name also, but I'm here to represent as just normal Bill O'Reilly that gives a damn about our country, about our nation, about our people. I'm super happy to be here with an incredible team, and the one thing for me is that I give a damn about community, and I think the Internet Party gives a damn about community. And for me and for our team also is that we need to be able to represent the peoples in the cities, also in the cities, but also in the rural areas. And that's the one thing for me is that if we can't reach the ground level people, the grassroots people, then we have a problem. But this is the main thing that we're trying to do. We're trying to get to all people, represent all races, colors, and creeds. And the thing for me is that big ups to each and everyone that's on the YouTube channel too and watching also. Big ups to everyone that's supporting. We do need help and volunteers and assistance from you guys if it's possible. And the one thing that I find that's really cool about this is the first time this has ever been done. This is the first time there's ever any party is started with something like this, and this is like groundbreaking. It's incredible, and also this is the Internet Party doing their next thing, and we're on the next level. And I think that the main thing is that we are keeping up to date and still doing new things each and every time. Our team is worldwide. Sarah's based in UK, Susie's based in Russia. Me and Chris Young are here in Auckland, and also Joe is down in Wellington. So we are an international crew representing. I'd like to send a big shout out to Mr. Kim.com. How you going, my man? Good to see you up here on the chat. Big up, my man. And big up to each and everyone that actually came along and is commenting here. One super thing is real cool is that the difference with this campaign is that you have a say. I can't say that on any other campaign that I've ever seen around the world is that the normal person here from Aotearoa, you right there have a say. Mr., Mrs., sister, brother, father, mother, cousin, uncle, auntie, grandfather, grandmother, you have a say. This is the only time that you can actually have a say in what policies that we're making just for you. And it's a beautiful thing. I've never seen that happen. Normally what will happen is like, I'm going to call the blue party and the red guys, no disrespect to them, but they're sort of a bit more older. They're a bit more sort of, but for me, as being in the Internet Party, I see us being sort of like the rebels. If like, because I've been a bit sick of, some of the things that have been happening within our country, like year after year after year. It's like, well, we can either run with the normal guys or else you can run with the Internet Party. And so personally myself, with my music stance and everything that I do, I try and represent the people. And the Internet Party has the chance to also represent the people and represent you. That's the one thing that I keep on saying is that whatever the Internet Party does do, you have a say. And so we'd love your help. We'd love your assistance. We'd love you to volunteer on our team because we also need your help, Aotearoa. And the main thing is that regardless if you are around the world, you live internationally, you are still a person from Aotearoa, the land of the long white cloud. New Zealand, you are from the South Pacific. And if you are a person that has moved here, you now represent Aotearoa. And once again, big fat shout outs to the tangata whenua each and every time. So this is Bill O'Reilly. It's nice to see you guys, and big ups for all your comments on the YouTube channel. Shout outs to each and everyone that came on board and supported and actually watched our first live broadcast. And big up team, my name is Bill O'Reilly, aka KKK, not KKK, sorry, KK. I'll take one of those K's out, my bad. That's the first time I've ever said that either, but regardless of that, that's not good. But fat shout outs to each and everyone. Make sure that you support the Internet Party. And if you do support the Internet Party, which you do, thank you very much for supporting us. You guys are the bomb, and we will see you very, very soon. Okay? Thank you.
Right on. Thanks, Bill.
Kia ora. Thank you so much, Bill. That's awesome. Thank you, all of you guys. Amazing. I love you. Okay, so you guys, we'll probably wrap up the stream pretty soon. I think that's enough for one day. What you'll see going forward is some normal everyday activity from us, of us interacting with each other. And it's a chance for a lot of people around the world to see what a campaign looks like when it's running behind the scenes. We think this is a challenge to every political party in the world, actually. They take the public money. Half the time they don't even show up to Parliament. All you see is empty seats on Parliament TV, and that's not good enough. We are not in Parliament, but you get to see us every day doing what we do. And if we get into Parliament, we're taking the live stream too. So we want to really revolutionise not just New Zealand politics, but world politics. Let's get some actual transparency about what these guys are up to on our dime, on our time. So please jump on board if you're interested in joining the campaign. If you need help from us with supporting, if you want our support to set up international parties, yell out to Joe Booth. He's at the Geek Joe on Twitter, one word. Yell out to any of us. Jump on our hashtag. Talk to the Internet Party NZ account. We are here. Someone is here 24/7. That's the amazing thing about this. There's no 9 to 5 in this party. There is always someone working at all times. And every day our team's getting bigger and we're doing cool things. So please support us. Please be a part of it. If you're feeling generous, jump on our site and donate. We will be rolling out a crowdsourcing campaign in the coming weeks. So we have, we're running this on a small budget, and we think that New Zealanders and people around the world can pull together and finance this amazing, transparent party and help us to affect some real change. So all good. I'll pass back to Chris because he's really an amazing compere in all of our meetings. He's the dude that holds it all together and keeps stuff moving. So I'll leave you with Chris, and kia ora to everybody who jumped on the stream and who watched. Everyone who cares about what we're doing and is inspired by what we're doing, we hear you, and keep talking to us.
Thanks, Suzie. All right. Hey, well, look, there you go. What did you think of that? We believe this is a world first where we've shared, you know, the inner workings of this party. We wanted to share with you that, you know what, we're a group of real people. And as Bill said before, we give a damn, okay? We're doing this because we feel that politics, it's got stale, you know, and, you know, there's a saying where it's be the change you want to see in the world. And so we feel that things need to change. They need a mix up. And, you know, the values of this party, they are about innovation. They are about connecting people and bringing them together. They are about protecting freedoms. So we want to be a living example of what we stand for. And I hope that you can see from this right now that we are actually living and breathing the values of what the Internet Party is. And to, you know, other people that are in the rest of the world, you know, if you believe in these same values, you believe in freedoms, internet freedoms, if you believe in bringing people together that give a damn, then you know what, that's what we want to do. We want to change, not only, you know, make our mark with New Zealand politics, but we want to help enable this on the world stage. You know, this is a great vision that was started by Mr. Kim.com. And, you know, we can only just get bigger, badder, and better from here. But last but not least, just know that, you know, this is about challenging the status quo. This is about thinking differently. And I know that sounds like an Apple quote, and it didn't mean to be, but you know what? That really is the ethos. It's about challenging things. And you know what? Let's just get out there and let's just do it. So those are my parting words. Thank you so much for joining on this. We'll stick around afterwards if you've got any questions, and reply in the chat. But aside from that, hopefully we'll see you on the next live stream really soon. Signing out.
Awesome.
Sweet, guys. I'll come and jump on the chat for a bit too. So if anyone wants to ask me questions, I'm more than happy to answer them for you. Also, you see Sarah like looking down the whole time on the stream. It's because she's tweeting her butt off. She's sitting there like tap, 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 tweeting her butt off. So support her. Go and retweet her. Go and retweet the Internet Party account. Cool. Joe, oh, you want to pass me back host, Joe, or not in the stream? Thanks so much, guys. We will post and let you know when our first non-formal, informal stream of the real back end of our campaign is going to happen. So keep an eye out.
Nice.
Bye.
If I can find the button to share host. Oh, I know where it's gone to my phone. That's not good.
Dude, we've got 3 continents here. That's freaking amazing.
Yeah. Awesome. Hurrah.